Hello, my name is Brianna Kudik.
And I'm Caleb Fortner Rodriguez.
And welcome to the Chickawamba Night Show.
Tonight we'll be talking about Chapter 8, Pollution.
Pollution is the unwanted substance that is harmful.
The Latin word for pollution is polare, which means to soil or to defile or to contaminate. Just kind of making things not the way they should be, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. It can be categorized into 3 different types: air, water, and soil. Just like the Avatar, except without the fire, of course.
They're also categorized by content as well. Particulate matter, organic matter, inorganic salts, and metals are the 4 categories by content.
Pollution is known to be xenobiotic, which is foreign to living substances and living systems, chemicals that didn't exist on the planet before, and no organisms or living processes can break them down.
There are different types of toxins. Toxins include allergens, formaldehyde, immune system depressants, mutagens, endocrine disruptors, which we'll talk about later on in the show, and cancer clusters as well. Pretty crazy stuff we can get into.
Yeah. Toxic
Allergens,
cause a response when a response is not necessary by activating the body's immune shot.
Formaldehyde is a strong allergen that can sensitize the immune system and trigger a reaction from other substances.
Fun fact: formaldehyde is used in plywood, particle board, foam insulation, and other building materials.
I didn't know. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know.
Immune system depressants work in the opposite way of allergens. They are found in pesticides, which suppress the reaction instead of activate it, and they're now banned polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, which are used in electrical and fire retardants. Can't do it.
No. Mutagens, on the other hand, are substances that damage generic material like DNA in cells. The 2 types of mutagens include carcinogens, which increase the risk of cancer, and teratogens, which cause abnormalities in developing embryos.
Wow. Cancer clusters are usually associated with the exposure to toxins in the workplace. People that run things with cancer, it's bad stuff. You don't want to get that.
It's pretty bad.
Watch out for those pollutions.
Pollution can be point source or non-point source. Point source means that pollution is coming from a single, well-defined source of emission. On the other hand, non-point source means that pollution is coming from different areas and it's very difficult to figure out where it came from.
Don't come into my different areas. I don't want to hear about any of that. The first type of pollution is air pollution. It causes more harm and health problems than any other pollution.
Wow. That's wild.
It's like when you're spraying off stuff in the air, like our old friend back there. Make your eyeballs go all crazy like.
Carbon monoxide is the major pollutant in urban air released by incomplete combustion of fossil fuels and is along highly traveled roads. Another air pollutant is sulfur oxides, that is strong, odorless gas, mainly in the burning of fossil fuels and oil refineries.
Ground level ozone is formed when solar radiation strikes oxygen, and breathing in the ozone can reduce the lung functionality and irritate mucous membranes. It also damages building materials, plastics, and plants that are more susceptible.
Wow. Other air concerns include 187 carcinogens, mutagens, neurotoxins, endocrine disruptors, and highly toxic compounds. Endocrine disruptors are synthetic pollutants that interfere with the endocrine system. All animals, including humans and anything with a backbone, has an endocrine system. They are chemical properties that are close to real hormones and plug into the hormone receptor before the real ones do. This affects the production and release of hormones by endocrine glands.
The second type of pollution that we're going to cover is soil pollution. These ones are a little more common. It's like contaminating the soil, including mining, oil drilling, and agriculture, things of that nature.
Mining is the removing, processing, and depositing of soil. Drilling, on the other hand, is the forcing of crude oil up to the surface.
There's a distinct difference there, you can see.
So how about some traffic there?
Oh, yeah. If we take you over to traffic with Spalding here, see what he has to say. Spalding, what do you think?
Good talk. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Spalding. So I would avoid staying on 41 or going on 75, or really just driving at all today. Traffic is pretty bad. Seem to be sparrows flying down and crashing into windshields of all cars. Back to the news.
The third type of pollution is water pollution. Water is the easiest to dissolve other products.
Once water is contaminated, it is expensive and very difficult to restore. Water pollutants include conventional pollutants, priority pollutants, and non-conventional pollutants.
Conventional pollutants include biochemical oxygen, the biochemical oxygen demand, the measure of oxygen depletion, the total suspended solids, fecal coliform bacteria, pH, and oil and grease.
So the biochemical oxygen demand is the measure of the depletion of the oxygen?
That is correct.
The more you know. None of which are individual chemicals?
No!
Wow. That is great, everyone. We have...
Yeah!
No.
Total suspended solids describe the concentration of fine particles suspended in water. Coliforms are a group of bacteria who live in the digestive tract of humans.
Oh.
And the pH scale is a measure of the concentrated hydrogen ions in the water, and the scale ranges from 1 to 14. 1 to 6 is acidic. 7, she's neutral. 8 to 14, she's basic.
I remember my high school chemistry teacher saying something about all this. I tried to tune her out, but unfortunately it stayed in my head, I guess. The priority pollutants include heavy metals, volatile hydrocarbons, and many pesticides as well. Some like the phosphate and nitrogen that leak into the pollutant that actually start doing bad, crazy stuff. That's actually one of the reasons why you can see up in the second picture here on the right, my right, would be the right up here. You have the Gulf here of Mexico, and you can see some of the red tide coming in along the top, and that comes from a lot of the phosphate and nitrogen leaking off from farmers and going into the Coxsackie River or Lake Okeechobee. Then they discharge that up into the river, and you can see some places where there's more bacteria, and it creates red tide or green algae blooms, which is red tide, and kills a lot of fish and different species like that as well.
Wow.
Pretty bad. Being Floridian, you can learn to hate that stuff. Non-conventional pollutants include thermal pollution, which is the unhealthy change in water temperature.
Wow. Did you also know that photosynthesis and metabolism rely heavily on temperature? This can be seen through the releases of cooling water from power plants and manufacturing facilities.
Eutrophication is also a large part of water pollution. It is the gradual buildup of organic matter and nutrients in the waterways from excess fertilizer and manure that cause algae blooms, like we were discussing with the red tide before. Pretty gruesome. It's nasty. It smells bad. Could get you sick. Don't go to vacation at the beach during red tide months. It's bad.
Now, let's get into the categories of content. The first category includes particulate matter. As you can see, some dust over here, shining through the light.
Smaller particles I can see on that.
Smaller particles.
It's not just small though, right?
Well, they're fine. They can be fine, or not so fine.
It's like the difference between me and you.
You win. These come from solids or liquids, and they're made of soot, smoke, dust, pollen, which you can see here with my little dog friend,
Oh, he is such a good boy.
pollen, of course, metals, organic chemicals, acids, sulfates, and nitrates.
They can be inhaled into the lungs, actually, and they can damage the tissue, clog airways, and put stress on the heart.
Ooh.
A lot of bad things. It's not good. Soot is the main form of particulate matter, made of black carbon, actually. It gets your feet real dirty if you walk on it.
Oh no, that's not good.
Wash them off in the bathroom.
Can't have my feet dirty.
Don't want to see that.
This also contributes to climate change by accelerating the melting process of ice and snow. Who would have thought?
Try not to think about that kind of stuff. Secondary particles come from vehicle exhaust, power plants, industries, process, incinerators, and wood burning as well. But before we get into the second category, I'd like to take a second here to ask Brianna, how's the weather doing?
Well, the weather, it's sunny, and I guess the sunset just now. So it is dark outside, the moon is up, and we're back to you on the segment.
Oh, thank you. That was great weather here in Fort Myers at 10:30 at night. It is sunny, just about to set. It is dark. We are doing great here. But the second particle from the vehicle exhaust, the second category of content, includes organic matter. Brianna, what are some of these organic matters?
Right. So these chemicals are those that contain carbon atoms. They also include volatile organic compounds that vaporize at room temperature. Synthetic organic pollutants are those that are containing chemicals made by humans, like you and me.
There are also persistent organic pollutants that are now outlawed. Did you know that?
Outlawed.
They remain in the environment today because they've been transported by wind or water or other natural means. But they also pass along into the food chain. And the plants in the waterways absorb the pollutants, and then those fish come in, and the fish start eating all the plants that have absorbed the pollutants. So now the fish have it in them. Us humans go catch the little fishy guys, and we're cooking them up, putting them into sushi, doing whatever we're doing, eating the pollutants right into our body. I've actually seen that there are microplastics that are eaten by fish, and fish can't digest microplastics, so it stays in their digestive tract. And then when humans eat them, we actually get these microplastics inside of our bodies as well.
So we're basically made of plastic.
Or eating it to a certain degree.
Wow.
Pretty sad stuff.
Hopefully there's a way we can fix that so we're not just eating plastic.
We're trying. The younger generations, I think, are hopefully pushing to make it better. The third category is inorganic salts. They're extremely mobile in water. They change the salinity, yada, yada, yada. Not really the biggest topic in the chat. No, not. Right?
We just changed the salinity.
You give him a slide on there?
I didn't give him a slide.
No slide.
Not
Sorry,
really
Teach.
big segment on our show.
The fourth category.
Metals.
Yeah, metals. We'll talk about those instead.
Metals.
Metals.
Lead is a highly toxic metal.
Do you have examples of metal?
We do.
Oh, carbon. These are from the other slides. Actually, when we were discussing carbon, Professor Dog back here.
Yeah, if you can see him.
He's
shaking
whipping
up
it up.
some
That's for the
chemicals.
synthetic organic compounds that us humans are making. Dogs apparently too. And then we have the symbol for carbon as well.
And here's our metals.
Now back to the metals. Metal.
So lead is
Junk
highly
metal.
toxic, right? We understand that. It is causing behavioral problems and learning disabilities in smaller children.
They persist and they're cumulative and biomagnifies in the food chain as well.
Wow.
Yeah, not good stuff.
No. So we have some examples here. We have metal, a junkyard of metal.
Metal, a lot of metal.
We have some rods
made of metal.
And here, if you've ever seen Jumanji, this is the elephant crushing the metal car.
Metal. That's all we're going to talk about on that one.
Now, we've covered all of the harshness pollution causes. Now is the segment for prevention or treatment of pollution.
Some pollutants, some pollution is harmful in some organisms, but they can be beneficial in other organisms. Bioremediation is the use of microorganisms to break down and convert synthetic chemicals into inorganic products. This is a primary method of treatment, actually. It's been really fun. We're trying to get it going on. It's pretty good.
So basically, what you're saying is that these other organisms they eat the bad pollutants in the area that is contaminated, and they get rid of it.
Yeah,
in a sense.
the microorganisms feed off of it, use it, keep on going.
Wow.
Circle of life, baby.
The circle of life. Well, the first way to remediate is through containment. Removal of contaminants can be costly, and sometimes you just can never fully get rid of the contaminant. So, the other option would be to put up a physical barrier around the pollutant to contain it into the area so it won't spread to other organisms or the planet itself.
Like a cage? We're caging in the pollutants?
Well, yeah, a cage, but with
blocking them in.
Strict barriers with no holes.
Okay.
And we can reduce or eliminate at its source. We can reuse and recycle what we cannot reduce, and we can treat pollution. Reuse, reduce, recycle.
Reuse, reduce, recycle.
So are you saying I could use this paper plate that is disposable?
Yeah, no.
Okay. What about this plate?
I would golf clap for that. That's a good one.
That'd be a great way to start your reduce, reuse, recycle. Use some reusable bags, not sponsored by Publix, so you don't have to use plastic bags. Or some recycling.
Recycling? What do you put in there? Is there anything good in the recycling bin?
We'll talk about that on our next segment.
Alrighty. Well,
thank you and have a great night. My name is Brianna Kudik.
And I'm Caleb Fortner Rodriguez.
Thank you for joining us on the Chickawamba Show.
And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Aw, man. Too bad.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.